What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with Reactions to the Classics, and today I'm going to rank every song on Tunnel of Love from Bruce Springsteen. I've done this for all of his albums. This is an 8th studio album. If you missed the other ones, check them out in the playlist down below. And I think this one is very underrated in Bruce's catalog. It's 3 years since Born in the USA. He took some time off. He got married to actress Julianne Phillips. That's kind of what the theme of this album is. He's been married for 2 years. He's going to get divorced 2 years after this. And his marriage is deteriorating. He realizes this. He's got an unbelievable level of fame after Born in the USA. His first real true taste of true fame. I know he's on the cover of Newsweek in Time for Born to Run, but that really put him into superstardom, Born in the USA. He's struggling with all of those things. No E Street Band here, although they are on different tracks, different guys are, so they do appear here, but they don't appear fully as a band until The Rising all the way in 2002. Bruce recorded most of the parts himself with synthesizers and actual drum machines. Album won Best Rock Vocal Performance solo at the 1988 Grammys. And I do think that's the only thing this album suffers from a little bit is, it sounds like 1987, and being a teen then and living through it, you don't always want to sound like that, but not like horribly. There's some really good songs on here, so let's get to the ranking. We got 12 songs on here. We're going to start out with All That Heaven Will Allow. Love of His Life Makes Life Worth Living. I think this comes in pretty low for me so far on the 8 albums in his catalog. Next up's the album opener, Ain't Got You. I know a lot of people love this. There's not a lot of lyrics to it. It's not a bad song. I mean, it talks about what he's struggling. It talks about hitting it big, making the money, having fame, but if he doesn't have her, it doesn't matter, right? And so it's fine, but it's a horrible choice, I think, for the album opener, right? I think there were so many other songs that could have been better here. Next up, we got Spare Parts, released in Europe as a single, but not in the US. By far the biggest rocker on this album. The guitar works great. The propulsive drum is fantastic. And the story is really well written. This girl gets pregnant. The guy takes off. The girl knows someone else who had drowned their baby, so she goes down to the river to drown her baby, but then she ends up baptizing it and ends up living life, right? But she feels like a spare part. So good songwriting. Just tough on this album to come in any higher than this. Next up, we got Cautious Man. Very well written song. Great line on here. On his right hand, Billy tattooed the word love. And on his left hand was the word fear. And in which hand he held his fate was never clear. And he goes through the song. He ends up getting with this woman, and it's his wife, and he's afraid she's unfaithful, but she's really not, but he's always wondering that. He's a cautious man. Next up is Two Faces, another really well-written song. I don't rate any of these songs so far very high in his catalog, but his songwriting is fantastic. Two Faces is about himself, the two faces that we all have. He knows he's this good guy on one end and this horrible guy on the other. He's afraid it's going to end his relationship because this other side of him will ruin it. It kind of just tells you all the stuff he's going through here with Julianne. Next up, we have Valentine's Day. He really misses her, wants to be with her. Really good songwriting on this one. Next up, we have When You're Alone. This girl leaves Bruce, and he's telling her how it's really not a wise decision, and eventually she'll come back, and eventually she tries to. And the line in here is great in the last verse. It's just nobody knows, honey, where love goes, but when it goes, it's gone. So he does not take her back. That thing where someone's ever dumped you and wants you back, that satisfaction you get, maybe you shouldn't, but you do get it. I was saying, no. All right, now we're to the top 5. I think there's a big dividing line between those previous 7 songs and these 5. My 5th song on Tunnel of Love is Tougher Than the Rest. A great version of this with Patty on Springsteen on Broadway. If you haven't checked that out on Netflix, I don't know what you're waiting for. It's great. This was a huge hit in Europe, but wasn't even released in the US. So basically, Bruce is just, he's in this bar, and he sees this girl, and he's just saying, I've been around a time or two, maybe you have too, but let's dance, let's give this a chance. But baby, I'm tougher than the rest. I'll stay here. I'll hang through all the difficulty, and you better be able to do the same. I just think it's a really well-written song. Next up, we got Walk Like a Man. Really good songwriting here, almost like on My Hometown, this full circle thing. He's following his dad, wanting to be like him, and then he gets older and he realizes he's the one that's got to walk like a man. So, yeah. Well done. All right, now to my top 3. I got One Step Up. Went to 13 in the US. Bruce plays all the instruments on here, and Patty is singing backup. Definitely about his impending divorce to Julianne, or breakup, which is kind of ironic with Patty on here singing backup. But he has all these illusions, broken furnace, a car won't start. It's talking about the relationship going away, right? 1 step up and 2 steps back. For every little bit we gain, we lose 2 more, and till you're just kind of spiraling down into nothing. It's just so well written. for anybody that's been in a relationship like that and feels that going. All right, now we're up to the top 2. A lot of people have this at number 1, but I'm going to have the title track, Tunnel of Love. Went to number 9 in the US. Rolling Stone picked it as their song of the year for 1987. This one uses a fairground funhouse ride, as they put it in the description for this song that I read, as a metaphor for marriage. You got the singer, you got the wife, and all the things they're scared of, and in this tunnel of love, right, that she thinks is going to be this easy when you're first in it, linear, straight line, everything's going to be great, but that's not how relationships or this world works. And the overall song theme is that you can lose your marriage in this fun house, right, ride of like all these different things going wrong. So we got one song left. If you know this album, you know what it is, and this was a no-brainer for me. I think this is one of Bruce's top songs, period, which might be a controversial take. I got Brilliant Disguise, went to 5 in the US, and the lyrics are just fantastic, right? About it's relationship driven. You know, he thinks there's this other side of her and that she's wearing this brilliant disguise, but then there's a twist towards the end. When you look at me, you better look hard, you better look twice. Is it me, baby, or just a brilliant disguise? Before it was her, or we all just kind of lying to each other? And Bruce said about this song, he said, after 1985, I'd had enough and turned inward to write about men, women, and love, things that have previously been on the periphery of my work. So he mentioned on this song in particular. This song, I would think, is going to be in my top 10 of Springsteen songs. That's how much I love it. But that's going to do it for today, guys. The rankings are here. Let me know what you think of these rankings, right? Do you agree, disagree? What are your rankings? I can take it, man. I know this one could go a lot of different directions. I think the top 5 on this album are very, very strong. If you'd like to support us in any way, check out the Patreon link below or the Patreon link on the Instagram. The patrons make these videos possible. We put up stuff every single day. And next up, guys, we're going to head into the 90s with Bruce. All right, until next time, guys, I will see you.